going to get, I guess. Good evening, everyone. I will now call the meeting to order. I am Hal Walker, 2nd District at-Large Commissioner. Mark Holland is absent this evening, and in his place I will be attending to the agenda. Will the clerk please call the roll call?
Roll call. Kane.
Here.
Markley. Here. Walters. Here. Philbrook.
Sorry, I'm watching the activity down here in front. Yeah, I'm present.
Walker.
Here.
Townsend.
Here.
McKiernan.
Here.
Regia. Maddox.
Here.
Holland.
This evening the invocation is being given by Reverend Mike May of St. Luke's Lutheran Church. And please stand and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance afterwards.
Thank you, Mr. Walker. I'd like to just begin tonight by pausing for a moment to remember a man we laid to rest today who brought great joy to this community for decades, and was listening to an interview that had been taped previously from him, and to just give thanks to God for all that he has brought to us over the years, and just pause for a moment in our own way to remember him. And to begin with the words of a psalm, which are not sprightly and upbeat, but which call us, I think, as a panel of citizens and people who are participating in the governing process, to raise our speech to higher standards. It's from Psalm 12. Save, O Lord, for the godly one is gone. The faithful have vanished from among the children of humanity. Everyone utters lies to his neighbors. With flattering lips and a double heart they speak. May the Lord cut off all flattering lips, the tongue that makes great boasts. Those who say, with our tongue we will prevail, our lips are with us, who is master over us. Because the poor are plundered, because the needy groan, I will now arise, says the Lord. I will place them in the safety for which they long. The words of the Lord are pure words, like silver refined in a furnace on the ground, purified 7 times. You, O Lord, will keep them. You will guard us from this generation forever. Lord, refine our words here tonight. Grant that the poor and vulnerable among us are served by what we do. Let justice be upright and tempered with mercy. Help us to serve you through one another and set point scoring aside just for the night. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Father May. Carol, are there any revisions to the agenda tonight?
Yes, Mayor Pro Tem. A blue sheet has been distributed indicating a new item under the administrator's agenda as item number 4, which is a communication regarding Hollywood Casino's confirmation to move forward with the construction of their hotel as originally set out in their development agreement. And that's the only revision, Mayor Pro Tem.
All right, thank you. We're going to cover the 4 items on the administrator's agenda before we start with our planning and zoning. Mr. Bach, would you like to proceed?
Thank you, Mr. Walker. Tonight we're very pleased to have a special presentation for us tonight. It's a result of the community-wide, or the impact from the improved safety that's a result of our community-wide Heart Safe program that has been in place. Tonight I'd like to recognize Virginia Barnes, who is here from KDH&E, who is going to present the Heart-Safe dedication by the state of Kansas. So if Ms. Barnes, if you would come forward at this time with the rest of the group, I believe there's going to be a presentation about this, and then they have a video that'll couple with it. And I'll also note that item number 2 will follow shortly after this as well.
Thank you for having me. I want to give a little background on what Heart-Safe Kansas Communities is. And again, I'm Virginia Barnes. I'm with the Kansas Department of Health and Environment, and I'm also representing the Chronic Disease Alliance of Kansas. So the goal of the Heart-Safe Kansas Communities project is to decrease the number of Kansans who die of cardiac arrest. Heart-Safe Kansas hopes to accomplish this by strengthening the 4 links in the chain of survival, which have been shown to increase survival rates for cardiac arrest victims. The 4 links are early access to emergency care, early CPR, early defibrillation, and early advanced care. Kansas communities achieve the Heart-Safe Kansas Community designation by developing and implementing a community action plan that includes providing education to members on the signs and symptoms of heart attack and on the importance of calling 911, providing CPR and automated external defibrillator or AED training, ensuring AEDs are placed in strategic public locations, and developing a sustainability plan for the community. The Heart-Safe Kansas Communities Project is an initiative developed by the Heart and Stroke Alliance of Kansas, now the Chronic Disease Alliance of Kansas, and is endorsed by the Kansas Department of Health and Environment. The Heart-Safe Kansas program is based on the Heart-Safe Community Program that was first initiated in Massachusetts in 2002. There are over 600 Heart-Safe communities and over 8 million covered residents in Heart-Safe communities across the United States. Wyandotte County has put together an enthusiastic and committed Heart-Safe Community Project team led by Geraldine Rogers, the chest pain program coordinator at the University of Kansas Hospital, and Mark Williams, assistant chief with the Kansas City, Kansas Fire Department. I was also asked to recognize Sarah Tufty, who's a paramedic with the KCK Fire Department, who worked tirelessly to champion the initiative and set it into implementation. And from the University of Kansas Hospital, Dr. Scott Cooley, Dr. Dennis Allen, Dr. Matt Ernest, Barbara MacArthur, and Liz Carlton, who showed great support for the project. The team put their excellent plan to become a Heart-Safe community into action and have exceeded expectations in meeting their goals. By taking actions to strengthen the links in the cardiac chain of survival, Wyandotte County residents and visitors suffering from sudden cardiac arrest will have the best possible chance for survival. So I want to go ahead and recognize what Wyandotte County has done. The team submitted their letter of intent in December 21st, 2012, and put their plan into action in January of 2013. To meet the work for the Heart-Safe criteria, they went ahead and did the work through the year and completed it by December 2013. CDAC requires applicants meet specific criteria to earn a heartbeat, and you must earn 5 heartbeats to then meet the requirements to become certified. And so for this, Wyandotte County's first heartbeat, which is for early access, they did 68 trainings on the warning signs and the importance of calling 911, the act-in-time messaging, and in the chain of survival. Trainings were conducted between January 17th, 2013 and November 21st, 2013, reaching a total of 2,286 people. Additionally, their action plan identified several several conditions that will be put forth to continue the training as they go forward. For their second heartbeat, for early CPR, the trainings that I had mentioned also included the CPR and the AED usage training. And so to meet the criteria for certification, you only have to train 210 people. And so as you can see, they met and significantly went past that training numerous more people than they were required to. So that was fantastic. And then for the heartbeat number 3, that's for early defibrillation, the team placed and registered 21 AEDs in strategic public locations in the community. They put them in all 4 of the unified government and courthouse buildings, public transit stations, the Shepherd Center, and the Union Pacific Railroad. To meet heartbeat 4 for early advanced care, Wyandotte has built in early advanced care by including provisions in the KCK Fire Department's EMS division structure and function guidelines that require a minimum of 1 firefighter orientee and 1 firefighter paramedic in each of their ambulances. And for heartbeat number 5, that's you must meet one additional criteria. And again, Wyandotte County's team has exceeded expectations and met 2 of the criteria by training all of the dispatchers in the emergency medical dispatching and had the participation of the University of Kansas Hospital in the Action Registry, which is to get with the guidelines module. So, on behalf of the Chronic Disease Alliance of Kansas and the Kansas Department of Health and Environment, I am pleased to present this certificate. And
thank you.
This is for Chief and Dr. Allen. This is signed by Dr. Mosier with KDHE and our chair, Alan Carter for CDAC. And we are very excited to congratulate Wyandotte County Heart Safe Project team and all of Wyandotte County for becoming a heart safe community, for all your hard work. And we also have 8 highway signs that will help you recognize and promote the fact that you are now a heart safe community.
See that? That's pretty nice. Well, I can tell you this has been a major effort. And on behalf of the Kansas City, Kansas Fire Department and Unified Government of Wyandotte County, I'm pretty proud to be here today. To begin, I want to give credit where credit is due. However, that is difficult because so many have played a role in advancing our local heart-safe efforts. I first want to speak in reference to one of our own dedicated Kansas City, Kansas Fire Department training instructors, and that's Sarah Tufte. Sarah could not be here tonight, though. I wish that she could, but Sarah right now is in San Diego, California, receiving a very prestigious award for her efforts in initiating our Heart Safe effort. Geraldine Rogers from the University of Kansas Hospital will be there as Sarah receives this well-earned recognition. Geraldine has also worked hard to advance our local Heart Safe regional efforts. And Geraldine, whom I think she starred in one of our Heart Safe videos too, so Geraldine has many talents. I also want to thank the University of Kansas Hospital CEO, Bob Page, and the University of Kansas Hospital staff, Liz Carlton, Dr. Cooley, Dr. Ernst, Barbara MacArthur, and many others for not only helping us make this program a reality, but in being with us now and for the long haul as we go into the future. I also want to recognize all of the many Kansas City, Kansas Fire Department staff members and personnel, such as Training Chief Mark Williams, Battalion Chief Paul Jones for his heart safe efforts within our community and in the school district. And I want to thank the IFF Local 64 who have been supportive from the beginning. And of course, our own unified government for the cooperation they have provided by making this local effort an important priority. And they have. In addition, I would be completely remiss if I did not specifically mention our medical director, Dr. Dennis Allen, for believing in what we are trying to accomplish as a heart-safe community. Because I know he truly cares about every patient that's under our care. Now, I'm very proud to say that our Heart-Safe partnership has expanded into a broader regional effort thanks to the initiative of the Heart of America Fire Chiefs Council. This expanded regional effort is based on our successful partnership in achieving this designation. It is being used as a template for a large number of partnerships within the region, as all local MARC region fire departments, as members of the Heart of America Fire Chiefs Council, are forming similar partnerships all across the metropolitan area. We are going to be participating in our regional Heart Safe kickoff coming up on May 17th, where all of these regional partners within the newly formed Heart of America Heart Safe will train as many of the nearly 12,000 Boy Scouts and their family members as possible in one day. as part of their Regional Scouting 500 event to be held at the Kansas Speedway. They will receive credit towards merit within their Boy Scout achievement efforts. And this is going to be like a well-oiled machine going on out there to try to achieve this goal. But this will be just the beginning in an effort to expose as many people as possible to this life-saving technique. And if I could, I want to key the video. And I know this mouse was set up here, but I'm not sure which one of these things I'm supposed to click, so I was wondering that. Right there.
Are you ready?
To act quickly to save someone's life.
Are you ready?
To make a difference.
Heart disease is the leading cause of death in the United States, and sudden cardiac arrest can happen any place, anytime. The Kansas City, Kansas Fire Department and Wyandotte County Public Health Department are teaming up to make Kansas City a heart-safe community. When the heart suddenly stops, survival depends on immediate action. Recognize the symptoms of a heart attack, such as chest discomfort, shortness of breath, or nausea. Call 911. If the victim loses consciousness, begin hands-only CPR. That's right, CPR can be performed using hands only. No mouth-to-mouth or certification required. Just lay your hands flat on the victim's chest, one on top of the other. Interlock your fingers, then push hard and fast 100 times a minute. Maintain this pace for as long as you can. This simple act could help save a life. Are you ready?
We are!
For more information, visit our website.
All right, now that video was a secondary partnership that was formed between the Kansas City, Kansas Fire Department and the Wyandotte County Health Department, thanks to the effort of our, right here among us today, Joe Connor. So thank you very much. But we also had a video that was produced by the University of Kansas Hospital in partnership with us. And before I introduce Dr. Allen, I was going to show that now.
Heart disease is the leading cause of death in the United States. In fact, 1.2 million Americans suffer heart attacks each year, and 600,000, one half of those, will not survive. I'm Dr. Scott Cooley. In the emergency department at the University of Kansas Hospital, we encounter life and death situations every day. Our years of training and experience prepare us to expect the unexpected and to take prompt action to save lives. But heart attacks usually begin before a patient arrives at our doors, and half of those patients won't survive to make it to the emergency department. That's why the University of Kansas Hospital is partnering with Kansas City, Kansas Fire Department to improve those odds through the Heart Safe Community Program. When heart attacks do happen, rapid treatment is the key to survival. The best way to increase your own odds is to prevent a heart attack by reducing your own risk. In this presentation, you'll learn how to reduce your own risk of having a heart attack. We'll also show you how to perform hands-only CPR, though you'll need to get training in person to be officially certified.
Hi, I'm Sarah Tufte. I'm an instructor with the Kansas City, Kansas Fire Department. Thank you for joining us in making our city a heart-safe community. If you are present when someone experiences a cardiac arrest, life-saving action is needed immediately. Here's how you can possibly help save a life.
I'm really not feeling too good. I think I'm going to get some water.
Joe! Joe! What's wrong, Joe? Oh.
Fire EMS, what's the address for your emergency?
Yes, I need help.
Is he breathing okay?
No, I don't think he's breathing. I started CPR.
Interlock your hands. Place the heel of your hand on the lower half of the sternum. Press the chest down at least 2 inches 100 times a minute. Press hard and fast until the ambulance arrives.
Help! Come on in, help!
What's going on here?
He's not breathing.
All right, I want to get in there and start.
Please.
Now you know what to do. If you think someone you're with could be experiencing the onset of a heart attack, watch for the signs and symptoms, call 911, and perform hands-only CPR if needed. The best thing you can do to prevent a heart attack is know your own risks and how to reduce them. Some risks can't be controlled, such as age, family history of early heart disease, or previous heart attack. But there are risk factors that you can control. If you smoke, you need to quit. If you have diabetes, high blood pressure, or high cholesterol, take your medication and follow your doctor's advice. If you're overweight or physically inactive, ask your doctor how to begin a healthier lifestyle, including diet and exercise. You can lower your risk for a heart attack through proper diet, increased activity, and if appropriate, taking medications as directed by your doctor. Thank you for joining the University of Kansas Hospital and the Kansas City, Kansas Fire Department to make our community a heart-safe community.
And I think you see from the videos, the simplicity is the beauty of the Heart Safe initiative, that anyone can learn how to do it quickly, and can make a difference. In the first video, I just want to make a note that that was Deputy Chief Craig Duke in the voiceover. And then, of course, in the second video, Geraldine Rogers starred in that and did a terrific job, as did everybody else who participated. With that, I'd like to introduce Dr. Dennis Allen. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Chief. I won't take much more time. I'm proud of this because I work and live on both sides. I'm the medical director of the fire department. I'm the medical director of the emergency department at the University of Kansas. So I work with all these wonderful people that didn't ask me to be in their film. I work with them. But that's okay, I'm not bitter. What I want you to remember, awards are great. You know, I mean, it's terrific, awards and plaques. I don't want you to forget what's happened here. And what's happened here is people living who would have died. You, since this was instituted, this community that we are in right now has one of the highest rates of bystander CPR and has one of the highest rates of ventricular fibrillation survival from sudden death in the street in the country. So we're talking about starting from a good place to go to a great place. And we really want everybody. We had people on the council and they're pushing on the mannequins and learning, and we need everybody. We need everybody doing this. Because remember, 80% of cardiac arrest happens at home. The life you save is your family. If your kids aren't getting this in school, send them back to school, because they're the ones going to be doing CPR on us. That's our husbands, our wives. This is who has to do it. But I'm so proud of this group, and I can tell you statistically, and I'm not trying to brag on the community. Statistically, I can tell you what that sign could say is that when it comes to heart disease, that you're now entering one of the safest communities in America. And I congratulate you all for that.
I just want to share a bit of information before I finish up and conclude. But since launching the start of our Heart Safe efforts, we've had specific examples of lives saved by those who have been exposed to our Heart Safe program. But I'd further like to share with you that since starting this program, the overall cardiac save rate at the Kansas City, Kansas Fire Department has nearly doubled. And we have experienced an increase in the use of bystander CPR prior to our arrival from about 19% to 32%. So once again, a sincere thank you to the University of Kansas Hospital, Kansas Department of Health and Environment for the challenge of this opportunity and awarding Wyandotte County the official designation of a heart-safe community. But it truly belongs to us all. So thank you.
Chief, I think I would speak for the commission. We want to thank you for another example of your fine work. Certainly we want to thank the state of Kansas, Dr. Allen, all the people that you mentioned. Coming on the heels of other news from the state, the idea that you know, we're a leader in saving lives from heart disease and heart attacks is good news, and it can only improve the overall health of the community when we're evaluated the next time. So I'd like to thank you for your efforts, and on behalf of everyone that participated, Deputy Chief Duke, all the actors. Did Joe survive, by the way?
He's one of our firefighters, so he
I know.
fight that he had a Ohio State trip. Thank you very much.
Okay. Well, we have an item 2 on the administrator's agenda, which was Joe showing the commercial. Joe, do you have anything you'd like to add to the commercial? Well, that being said, we'll move to item 3. Mr. Bach?
Thank you, Mr. Walker. This item is in relation to MoDOT, KDOT projects that they're working forward on a bridge. I will recognize our county engineer, Bill Heatherman, to present the proposed street closure.
Thank you, Mr. Bach. What we have is a special request. MoDOT and KDOT are cooperating on the replacement of the US 69 bridge, which if you look on the aerial photo we have above, that is 7th Street going north over the Missouri River, crossing into Missouri. And the plan is to take both of the existing 2 bridges down, replace it with the new 4-lane bridge, which will also have a pedestrian way on one side. It's a design-build project. The design-build teams are actually working on their proposals right now. And in the confidential one-on-one feedback sessions that MoDOT has had with those teams, the question was asked if Harvester and Brinkerhoff Road underneath the bridge could be closed. And if you look where the cursor is passing right now, that is basically a very low volume road that kind of circles back underneath the bridge abutment. MoDOT and KDOT have both made outreach to the Fairfax Industrial Association. We do have Chuck Schlittler here tonight if you have questions. There are 7 businesses that have some type of frontage off of Brinkerhoff or Harvester. All 7 have been contacted. None of them had any objection. In fact, some of the comment is that right now that road really doesn't have a whole lot of importance to them, and there's some kind of illicit activities from time to time, so the idea of not having that hidden space was actually a positive. What would happen is a cul-de-sac would be built on each end. So the only part we're closing is just the part that would be immediately under the bridge and the bridge abutments on either side. With that, they are under a deadline. If this information is going to be of use, they need to have it transmitted to the design build teams by May 9th, which is why we expedited bringing it here tonight. We do have Brian Kidwell with Missouri Department of Transportation and Jim Pickett with the Kansas Department of Transportation here tonight if you have any questions. Staff fully supports this closure.
Does this require action on our part?
Because it's a road closure, we wanted to bring it before.
All right, we have a motion and a second to approve the closure of the portion of the road shown. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Roll call. Kane.
Aye.
Markley.
Aye.
Walters. Philbrook.
Aye.
Townsend.
Aye.
McKiernan.
Aye.
Maddox.
Aye.
Walker.
Aye. Motion passes. You may close the road. Okay, we have a new item, a happy piece of news. At least I think it's happy news. I'll recognize our county administrator, Mr. Bach.
Thank you, Mr. Walker. And this is good news. It's one that was set out last February, and it really pertains to the original agreement that we had with Hollywood Casino. As they came here, they were to move forward with the hotel project in February of this year. They asked us at that time if they could be extended in their evaluation time as they were moving into this year. We told them that they could. However, they needed to come forth to us by May 1 to give us a firm announcement of yes or no, whether they were to move forward, and then they would need to start construction by October of this year. I did receive today a letter from Bob Sheldon, President General Manager of Hollywood Casinos, who confirmed that it is their intent to move forward with the construction of the hotel as it was originally set out and planned in our development agreement. And by that, they will move forward through the process, move into the planning process this summer so they can start construction in October of this year.
Yay.
All right.
Great news. I'm glad to hear that. Well, that would conclude the administrator's part of the meeting. Tonight we have two distinct parts to the meeting. First, we have the planning and zoning agenda, which will be followed by a brief regular commission meeting. I will now ask the clerk to read the statement followed by the items on the planning and zoning consent agenda.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. We would like to welcome all present to this meeting of the Unified Government Commission. Members of the commission are Mayor Mark Holland, who is unable to be here this evening, Commissioner Hal Walker, at-large District 2 and serving as Mayor Pro Tem, Commissioner Gail Townsend, District 1, Commissioner Brian McKiernan, District 2, Commissioner Ann Brandau Murguia, District 3, who is also unable to be present this evening, Commissioner Terrence Maddox, District 4, Commissioner Mike Kane, District 5, Commissioner Angela Markley, District 6, Commissioner Jim Walters, District 7, and Commissioner Jane Winkler Philbrook, District 8. As each petition is called, all persons for or against will be given the opportunity to express their views. If this is the first time that a particular petition has been before the commission has three options. 1, it can approve the recommendation of the Planning Commission with 6 votes. 2, it can override the Planning Commission's recommendation, but it would take 8 votes to override. Or 3, it can return the matter to the Planning Commission for further consideration, together with a statement specifying the reasons for the referral back to the Planning Commission. The consent agenda is the first part of the planning and zoning agenda. Items on the consent agenda have received a unanimous vote of recommendation by the Planning Commission. Unless there is a request to set aside an item from the consent agenda by the applicant, a member of the public, the Unified Government Commission, or others, then the Planning Commission's recommendation on all of the items on the consent agenda will be adopted by the Unified Government Commission at one time. I will read the list of agenda items on the consent agenda, and when I have completed the list, the Mayor Pro Tem will ask if there are any requests to set aside items from the consent agenda. This is your time to stand up and request that an item be set aside if you do not agree with the Planning Commission's recommendation. If an item is set aside, the matter will be discussed and voted on separately. All items not set aside will be approved with the Planning Commission's recommendation. We appreciate the attendance of those people here this evening, and we recognize the importance of each petition. We would, however, remind you that there are a number of items on the agenda, and we would appreciate your efforts to make your remarks as concise as possible. Once the petitioners make their presentation, anyone for or against will be allowed the maximum 3 minutes to state their views. As you come to the microphone, please state your name and address for the record. The Mayor Pro Tem and Commissioners are required to disclose contacts with proponents or opponents on any item on the consent agenda, on any item on the Planning and Zoning consent agenda, as well as a non-consent agenda, which we don't have this evening. At this time, does any member of the Commission wish to disclose any contact with proponents or opponents on any item on the Planning and Zoning agenda? Okay.
Commissioner Markley?
I've had contact with opponents of SP-2014-22. I believe it's item 4. I also think that certain opponents sent an email to the commission at large, so I think all the commissioners received that communication.
Yes, I was going to disclose that I had received emails regarding this matter in opposition to it, but I don't believe I had any personal contact with any opponent or proponent. Anyone else? All right, there being no further disclosures in reference to the consent agenda, does any member of the commission or anyone in attendance tonight wish to set aside any item on the planning and zoning consent agenda? If an item is not set aside, all items on the planning and zoning consent agenda will be voted on by one vote to follow the recommendation of the Planning Commission. Does anyone wish to set aside any item?
Mayor Pro Tem, before we do take the vote, if there's going to be a vote on the floor, I would like to read the items on the planning and zoning consent agenda.
Okay.
Okay, under the special use applications, item 1, SP 2014-19, Kim and Lisa Blake, requesting renewal of a special use permit for 2 horses at 12126 Leavenworth Road, is being recommended for approval for 5 years. Item 2, SP 2014-20, Jose A. Franco, requesting 2 horses at 208 South 72nd Street. This item is recommended for approval for 2 years for 2 horses. Item 3, SP 2014-21, Ron Streaming, requesting 2 storage units at 956 Osage Avenue, and is recommended for approval for 2 years. Item 4, SP 2014-22, Steve Warger, requesting renewal of a special use permit for a fill dirt at 7615 Swartz Road. This item is recommended for denial and is also being recommended that the revocation of the current special use permit, SP 2012-31, by May 31st of this year. Under the plan review application, there's one item, PR 2014-11, Dana Bly, for a preliminary and final plan review for a community center and classrooms for an existing church at 111 South 72nd Street, and is being recommended for approval. Those are all the items on the planning and zoning consent agenda.
All right, does anyone wish to set aside any item on the planning and zoning consent agenda? There appearing to be none, I'll entertain a motion.
Move for approval. Second.
All right, we have a motion and second. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Roll call, Kane. Aye. Markley.
Aye.
Walters. Aye. Philbrook.
Aye.
Townsend.
Aye.
McKiernan.
Aye.
Maddox.
Aye.
Walker.
Aye. All right, that concludes the matters on the consent agenda. I would, as a follow-up, ask Mr. Well, no, maybe I better not. Yeah, I know. Hey, for the record, Rob, so everyone is clear, on the one that we just denied and revoked, there is going to be some work have to be done to close that down. Is that not correct?
That's correct. There's the existing, well, at least at the time of Planning Commission, there was existing fill that had been brought in that would need to be leveled. They'll need to bring fill dirt or topsoil in over the top of it and establish ground cover. And it should be in this position that ground cover is being established by May 31st. And so they will be working throughout this month to spread the site and get it covered with topsoil and get ground cover established according to their erosion control plan.
Well, I wanted that on the record so that the citizens that were here in support of the Planning Commission recommendation understand that when they see trucks over there working or people moving dirt around, that's part of their contractual commitment, as long as they're not doing what they were doing before.
Correct.
Okay? All right, that will conclude that part. Non-planning consent agenda. I believe we have one item. Does anyone in attendance wish to set aside the one item on the non-planning agenda? Seeing no one wishing to.
Second.
Thank you for the motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, having a motion and a second, would the clerk please read the roll?
Roll call, Kane. Markley. Walters. Philbrook.
Aye.
Townsend.
Aye.
McKiernan.
Aye.
Maddox.
Aye.
Walker.
Aye. Before everyone gets up and leaves, I do have a bit of sad news that I'm going to have Mr. Bach deliver. I know that these things occur, but they are inevitable, and so, Mr. Bach.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. And this is one of those items that, as he said, is sad news, but it's also good news in the sense that we're always glad to see our employees move on to bigger and better things. Tonight, this is the last meeting after 9 years for Mr. Brad Mumford, who has been one of our planners that you've seen and worked through many of the cases here. Brad has the opportunity to move on to another jurisdiction to bigger and better things, and we're very happy for him, but I also wanted to take a moment to recognize you for all your years of dedication and hard work, Brad. Thank you very much.
If there be nothing further, the meeting is adjourned.